All right, guys. I'm gonna say this quickly. I'm gonna tell you some things that I learned on my journey, my walk. That's working. About God's timing. I must borrow from two different philosophies. The Science of Getting Rich, where it says God wants to experience through you. God wants to expand through you, right? So, because that is the case, the infinite intelligence, God, wants to, is not, when people say God's timing, they say it from an escapist level. And because the kingdom is within you, second philosophy, and because you are God in the flesh, God's timing, and like I'm gonna say, this is second philosophy, I'm sorry. Neville Goddard says in Power on YouTube, he says a funny way of saying God's will. And I get this. This is the same thing about God's timing. When he says, I stopped worrying about God's timing and I started worrying about my timing. And because he said in God's will, he says a lot of people say, I'm waiting on God's will. So if God wills it for me to pay this rent, for me to do whatever I desire to do, it will happen. And he says, I've done that before, where I waited on God's will for whatever to happen. And because I waited on God's will, it never happened. Because the God is within you. And he said, he wants you to imagine it meaning I want you to act like it is already done. I don't want you to claim it in no shape, way, or form that it is not done. Right? And I realize when people say God's timing, they say it from a very escapist level. And then they come up to the philosophy of I was not prepared for the things that I have now, which is what they wanted to manifest, right? And that's really the key word. You weren't preparing. You weren't cutting things off. You weren't doing what it meant to the mental, emotional, and spiritual work for you to get in alignment. And I realize rejection simply means it's not in alignment. Let me repeat that again. Rejection simply means it's not in alignment. It has nothing to do, well, it also has to do with God's protection. But God's protection really means it's not in alignment with you. So it won't work. So when I have certain friendships, certain relationships that just drop out the sky, or it stops working because it's not in alignment with where I am. Like I had my roommate was talking about me and some other E5 where I got the clear to do certain work. And I said, because my heart is pure, I'm in alignment with your highest good. We may differ on philosophy, we may differ on how we see the world, but my heart is in alignment with your highest good. That person that she compared me to, she was like, their heart is not in the right place. Their integrity is probably not as pure as mine. So I say that to say this: stop evangelizing or stop the escapism of God's time. What you really should be saying is, I was not in alignment. And because you're a co-creator, this is a third philosophy I would borrow from. Abraham Hicks likes to say, you are a co-creator with God. So because the creator, the divine being, is all-knowing, it knows, he or she knows when you are not really doing the work. Like I'll give you an example. If you wanted to be a millionaire, you're a millionaire now, but you must align your life like it in the smallest ways that you can. Whether you put the pictures all over the wall, whether you put the pictures of where you want to be as a millionaire. I'm a millionaire all over my walls. You affirm it, you write it down, and you cut off poor-minded friends. You start going to millionaire events, and no matter what the niche, because you just want to be around being a millionaire. You want to align yourself with millionaires, for instance. And I had to learn this when I was with an old friend of mine. And whenever I would tell her, yo, go get around friends who are better than you. Stop hanging around people who are below your tax bracket, because that's not in alignment with what you say. Because you always say, I need to manifest $1 million. I need to manifest $1 million. I said, and I really should. If I spoke to her now, I said, how many millionaires do you hang around? Like, why don't you go pay to go to $1 million event, no matter what the niche, and start aligning yourself with people who are either going where you're going, who've made what you made, and maybe more, right? So I've come to the understanding that God's timing is your alignment. And that's probably going to be the title of the video. God's timing is your alignment. When you receive whatever you receive, it's because you were finally in alignment. It really has nothing to do with, oh, God didn't want to give it to you. Not really. Because in the words of Wayne Dyer, God is always saying yes. And because I believe that to be true, that God is always saying yes to you, like, yes, I want to give that to you, but you're not in alignment. Yes, and I don't even believe God says no. I believe that God says that's not in alignment, so I'm not giving it to you. That's not in alignment, so that's not happening. That's not in alignment, so that's not working. That's why even when it comes to your partners, ask for the Creator to stop don't give you the lover that you want. Give you the partner or the lover that's in alignment with your highest good. And that kind of shifts your perspective on a lot of things. Give me the partner that's in alignment with my highest good and for what I'm destined to be. You know, a lot of people, I realized this when I was thinking at work, a lot of people just want partners who are good on paper, who are good for status, who are good for Instagram. But they don't want partners who are really in alignment with their highest good and who they're destined to be on planet Earth. So, you know, getting God's timing is your alignment. Whenever you want something, ask yourself, are you truly in alignment? Are you truly doing whatever it takes to be in alignment with whatever you want? For real. That's kind of probably going to change how I achieve my goals, about just putting myself into the alignment. But yeah, do whatever it takes to put yourself in alignment.